A lot of people think a work from anywhere life starts with a six-figure income. It can, but it doesn't always have to. And in my situation, it didn't. It really started with me evaluating like what's really important and in what ways can I cut some expenses so then I can live this work from anywhere life while figuring out how to make money online. So this is how I'm doing it. Hey there, Lequita Travels. I document how small decisions build a work from anywhere life. So in this video, I'm gonna give you like some very practical examples on how I'm cutting expenses. So I'll start with a little bit about my expenses when I was in Jacksonville, Florida. I owned a home in Jacksonville, Florida. My mortgage was roughly $1,400 a month for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I bought the house maybe like 13 years ago and it was in the suburbs. I also paid for Wi-Fi, which could have been like $100 or so. Me and my daughter's cell phone might be, I don't know, $100. Also the security plan was like $100 for the year. And I also have like Prime Video, Stars, what else? Paramount. So those are some of the expenses. So just adding up those different things. Oh, and let's not forget regular car note, car insurance. What else you have to pay? Oh, car note, car insurance. Oh, car registration. So all of those expenses in Jacksonville, Florida, just those basic things. And also like some water, maybe like $150 a month. I haven't completely added those up, but just say roughly it was like $2,000 a month in a sense, in essence, when I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. And then I relocated to Salem, Oregon to do a travel social work contract. Cause so I'm like, okay, if the goal is to really be like a digital nomad, expat, work from anywhere type of person, whatever you want to call it, I need to get bigger chunks of money. So how am I going to get bigger chunks of money? Because I'm a licensed clinical social worker. So I said, okay, I can get bigger chunks of money. Because yes, I could do the entrepreneurial thing, you know, get grant funding, all those things. I've done those in the past. I've done that in the past. But also, I didn't really want the, I guess you could say, the entrepreneur hustle. Like, just wasn't feeling that entrepreneur hustle right now. So instead, I was like, how can I still be an entrepreneur in a sense and get bigger chunks of money without the hustle of, you know, posting on social media, recruiting to get one-on-one clients for solution-focused therapy, all those things. So I decided to do a travel social work contract at a behavioral health agency in Salem, Oregon. And they paid $2,800 a week. So roughly that was about $12,000 for the month. So with making that amount of money, it made sense for me, right, mathematically, to continue to pay my bills in Jacksonville, Florida, my mortgage and all those things, and still pay expenses in Salem, Oregon, while getting chunks of money to be able to save towards being able to start this work from anywhere lifestyle and also pay off some debt and some lingering expenses. So in Oregon, my rent for my studio downtown was about, you say, $1,100. Plus I had to pay $100 for parking, so that was $1,200. And at my apartment, Wi-Fi was included. Still have a cell phone, so I switched cell phone plans, but it's still $100 for me and my daughter's cell phone. My daughter's in New York doing her thing, so that also kind of freed me up to do this whole digital nomad expat life. So that was roughly $1,200 for living expenses, and then I still was paying my car note, car insurance, and you know, vehicle registration is typically like once a month, so that might have been $300 for. So my bills in Salem, Oregon was roughly, I want to say like $1,600, maybe like $1,600, $1,700. So bills in Jacksonville, Florida, roughly $2,000. Bills in Salem, Oregon, roughly $1,600. So initially I was paying for both, maybe around November 2025. But then in December, my house sold. So then that money was removed. So I didn't have to pay that anymore. And then I also made a profit from selling my home because it had some equity in it. So now I just had the roughly $1,600 in expenses in Salem. And then when I decided to move here, I went ahead and sold my car to reduce that expense. So those are just practical things that I've done in order to reduce expenses. So if you think about it, I was like, well, okay, if I was paying this amount of money in Jacksonville, Florida, and then in Salem, Oregon, I was paying like $2,000 in Jacksonville, Florida. Salem, Oregon, I'm now spending about $1,500. And then now since I've gotten rid of my car, it's like I can honestly just take probably that $2,000 I was spending in Jacksonville, Florida, and I can afford to live in Thailand. Or even if I wanted to reduce a little bit less to the $1,400, I could, but I'm not going to do that. And I honestly set me a budget for $2,500. So those were some practical things I did in order to actually be able to just do this work from anywhere life. So now, yay, I'm in Thailand. And I'm not a big Starbucks drinker or anything, but I was kind of curious to know, you know, what is the comparison and the cost in Thailand for a Starbucks drink. Let's see if I can prop this phone up somewhere for it to stay up. All right, so I went and bought this Starbucks drink today. And this Starbucks drink was like $1.95 Thai dollars. So that's roughly $6 US. So it's a little bit cheaper than when you buy Starbucks in the States. And this was like and it was kind of cool. They put good morning on here, but it was like a matcha. So it wasn't like basic coffee. It was a matcha with the foam and like Rice Krispie treats. Really cool. So just a tad bit less. But this is the thing, right? From a very practical standpoint, because remember, you don't have to have a six-figure income to move internationally. I don't. Now, I do have savings. I will give that caveat. So I'm not going to say I just rolled up to Thailand, broke it all. Yeah, no. I have savings. So I can live comfortably without working for, a good bit of time. But I could comfortably set aside $10,000 to say, even if I don't make $1 during these 4 months in Thailand, I'm going to be okay and I'm not going to be upset. It'll be like, okay, I didn't make any money. So what? So you need to have some savings though. And like I said, I budgeted $10,000 because I'm really particular about where I live. So the resort I stay at it was like $1,200 for the month. You could probably find housing cheaper, but I like the perks of being at a resort and I feel safe. So you could either buy a Starbucks, right, for $1.95, or instead of spending that amount of money on that, you can actually catch a Grab. So Grab here is the AKA Lyft / Uber. So when you ever hear me talk about Grab, that is AKA Lyft Uber. So at the bare minimum, a Grab is going to always cost $200 Thai dollars. So you can either choose a Grab to catch a ride one way somewhere that may be outside of a 30-minute walk, could be longer than that. Like I caught a Grab from my resort all the way to Naka Market, and the market was about 30 minutes away. And I think that Grab might have only cost me $269 Thai dollars. But pretty much any Grab ride is going to be at least 200, period, Thai dollars. But that was almost a 30-minute ride for like $269 Thai dollars. So Grab, you get a Grab for $269, or you buy a Starbucks matcha. To me, economically, it makes more sense to get the Grab for $269 if you're going to be more economical. And I only bought the Starbucks because I was doing a comparison. And I was like, Lequita, girl, this is really trifling. You cannot go on these people's plays, recording some content, talking about doing some comparison and not buy anything. It's like, you gotta have some class, okay? So I decided to go ahead and buy something. Wasn't the plan, but it just felt so classless to just go do a recording and not buy. So I bought it. But it didn't break the bank. Also here, the cool thing about being here at the resort is I have these really cool like meal prep bowls. So what I typically do in the mornings, and I'm not saying that this is what, I don't know if it's legal, illegal, either way, I'm like, I pay to stay here and I'm staying here for like a whole month. So it be what it be. So in the mornings when I get breakfast, I'll go ahead and pack some of the food, because at our breakfast, they also have like brunch or lunch. So today there's like this chicken stir fry was in one container, and then they also had like some lo mein, so in a separate container, in a separate dish for breakfast today. So I went ahead and packed this chicken with the lo mein that I can eat either for like a late lunch, early dinner. So since I typically eat around 10 a.m. and I only do like an 8-hour window, that's 10 to 6. So I probably eat at 10, then I might eat something again at 2, and then maybe closer to like 5:30ish. So because I do like an intermittent fasting. So I pack this because it's something that I can still eat that's cold, because there's no microwaves here, because you know the resort's got to make the money. I ain't mad at them. So I always pick up something from breakfast and put in my container that I can eat later, and I can eat it cold or lukewarm, and then I keep it typically in like this pink lunch container, so it keeps it pretty, you know, it keeps it lukewarm. Not warm, it's not hot now, okay, but I can still eat that lukewarm. And then I also pack some fruit. So like this morning we had some fresh watermelon, papaya, fresh pineapples. Typically we have dragon fruit instead of papaya, so that was something different for today. And then also they have this and then they have like another fruit salad where it's just chopped up watermelon, cantaloupe, pineapple, and dragon fruit. I don't know if you can really see the dragon fruit, but anyways, it's mixed. So I also packed that, and I'm gonna put that in my refrigerator. So that's one way that I save money on food. So a lot of times once I eat my breakfast, I just eat that around, I might eat all of the chicken or half around 2, and then maybe the fruit for dinner. So pretty much I don't have to really spend money on food on the days when I stay at the resort and I'm not outside. Now on days when I go out, like the other day I went to, I guess like Rawai Beach. So I went ahead and, you know, purchased something at a restaurant out there just for the experience. But even with that, it ended up being like a tax write-off, because I did content. I'm going to do a review about it, showing the food, talking about the atmosphere and all those things. So I'm wrapping into business. So now I'm going to just walk over to where the refrigerator is at. It's not a big one, it's just enough, but it does what it does. So every day, because of it being so hot here, they do provide like water. So there's a refrigerator here, and and they have some stuff in here. Oh, I forgot to put that out for the trash today, because I put those in the refrigerator, because I want to make sure I don't have any bugs. So I need to make sure and put those out in the trash. So we'll get out there at some point. Go get to the trash. So went ahead, put my little fruit in the refrigerator. But I wanted to show you all the water. So every day they give us 2 glass bottles of water. And then what I do is another cost savings thing. Like I have empty bottles, like 1 empty bottle. This bottle was empty, but I've already put water in it. And then this bottle. So in the mornings during breakfast time, I just refill my water bottles that I already just keep in my room. So they give us these 2, but then I just refill the other water bottles I have, because it just doesn't make sense to spend money for this big liter of water that costs money. I could just refill my own water bottles as a way to save money. Also, when it comes to laundry, they have laundry bags here where you can get the laundry, what have you, paid for and stuff. But let's see, where is it at? Let's see. Okay, so I'll show you all the laundry bag they have here. So they have like a little, I don't know, a little laundry bag. So they have a laundry bag, laundry sheet, laundry bag where you can do laundry here. But instead, since I was staying in a studio when I was in Oregon, and in my studio I didn't have a washer and dryer there either. So I brought my little bag from the United States, where it's just where I put my laundry in. So I'll be going to the laundry. It's like a laundry service, so it's not me actually doing my own laundry, but there is a laundry service right by, across the street. So I think I showed it in one of the other videos. So So I'll be doing that, just taking my laundry to them so they can do the laundry. So not having a wash and dryer is not that bad because I can use them to actually do the laundry instead of getting my laundry done on the resort. So it's ways to, like, I guess, save money or not spend as much money. And those were just a few practical ways for me to just say, you don't actually need 6 figures to start this work from anywhere life. You just need a savings and you're gonna have to reduce maybe some of the expenses that you have and prioritize. But pretty much, I'm staying within how much I would have spent living in the United States anyhow. Now the month isn't over, we're just starting, but I'm quite sure I can stay within $2,500. And really, I'm trying to stay within $2,000 US. But anywho, this is Lequita Travels.